Hi there, I am Major Mandisa Mfeka and I am a Hawk Mark 120 pilot within the South African Air Force. I am very excited to be here with you at World is One News. Um, I am here with my host Ayushi Agarwal, and I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity to be addressing you and sharing some of my experiences and definitely addressing some of the questions that have come my way with regards to my experience and definitely with everything that with all the attention that I have gotten. I'm actually seriously grateful and excited. So definitely the first question that I usually would like for me to address is what led me to the dream of flying? How did I come across the military? And what achievements and ranks do I hold within this field? I came across flying definitely when I was 5 years old. My mother and my grandmother used to take us to Virginia Airport. And I remember that my mom would park her car outside the fence and we would watch the aeroplanes display over the airfield from obviously just outside the fence where my cousins and my cousins and my mother and grandmother were. And I remember how exciting and how mesmerizing the display and the performance of all the aircrafts who were flying by was. And I was very excited and very taken by that experience. I didn't realize at that time, obviously, because I didn't realize that I could pursue that career. For me, I didn't realize that a young girl like me had the opportunity to pursue a career in aviation because I didn't get to interact with any of the pilots. We didn't actually go into the show, we just enjoy it from the outside. And it wasn't until I was 16 years old that I came across aviation and I was introduced to the South African Air Force by an article, an advert that was advertising the requirements. They were recruiting pilots and navigators and they were advertising the requirements to become a pilot, and then more so what the training was going to be like. And I remember I was so excited. I was so excited. And at the prospect of becoming a pilot. And I remember at that age, I wouldn't look at anything else. I went to my father and I told him this is exactly what I wanted to do because it was encompassing, it was utilizing the mental aspect of obviously definitely to be a pilot, and then obviously the physical aspect of being in the military. I wanted that whole package. It was perfect for me. So it was, yeah, I was very excited. And now within the South African Air Force, I hold the rank of major and I'm a qualified Hawk Mark 120 pilot. I'm still very junior in the combat line. I still have lots to do. But definitely having come this far is something that I hold dear because it was a challenging journey. What was the first step towards my journey of becoming streamed within the combat line? Definitely the first step when I discovered the South African Air Force in grade 10, I wanted them to know about me. I wanted them to know that there's a Mandisa Mfeka who wants to be a pilot, a military pilot within the South African Air Force. So I sent in my reports and I wanted them to keep track of my progress within high school, and every term I would send them my report. I got hold of the application forms and I filled in the application forms, attached my report, because you could start applying from the age of 16 in my country. And when I reached matric and I matriculated and got my results, they already knew about me. I was already in communication with the sergeant major at that time. And she prepared me by saying that basic military training was going to be physically demanding, like was going to be the most demanding thing that I've ever experienced. And I was prepared for the physical aspect. I started changing my fitness routine because I used to play sport. I had to change my fitness routine now to actually be more time based. I had to run a certain distance and then I would time how I progressed over time, what my progress was like in my training, so that when I got to basic military training, I had the best chance of success. So that's the best thing that I could do, preparing myself physically for the elements that I was about to face. And then more so, obviously, reading up about aviation and exposing myself to this career that I was about to go into, and trying to learn as much as possible about the South African Air Force. I couldn't get all the videos what basic military training was going to be like, to build a picture of the training. So I used to go onto the the USAF, United States Air Force, and watch their basic military training, and that gave me an idea of what things could be like. And when I finally got to basic military training within the South African Air Force, I didn't expect for the emotional challenges that would come with that training. I didn't expect it to be as grueling as it was, and definitely the main part was to break out that civilian person and for you to become a military practitioner. So the importance of that is, for a military practitioner, you have to execute without question. So, I mean, I grew up in a very protected environment. My parents wanted the best for me, so they wanted to protect me the best way that they can. I mean, obviously, I played hockey, I played soccer, I did martial arts, and all of those things did create a certain level of resilience. But and I went to an all-girls school. So when I got into the military, the dynamics were completely different, and sometimes I felt like a little bit of an outsider because of that. And but I did the best that I could at that stage. I did the best that I could to succeed, or to adapt to the environment. And definitely I let go of asking questions, and I would just do things. And when things got too physically grueling or too emotionally grueling, I would actually withdraw inside of myself and just allow the body to take the physical challenge, or the physical exercise, without thinking too much of it. So it's necessary to break out that civilian person in you, to make you a little bit more tougher and be able to be used to the military conditions. So next up, Ayushi asks, as it is is it a strength that matters at the end of the day? Did you ever feel that being a woman was something that hindered me? No, I didn't feel that being female was something that was going to be a challenge for me. I'm very grateful to the fact that I went to an all-girls school. I went to Queensborough Girls High, and there I didn't see any difference between the capacity of a woman. I didn't see um, uh, a difficulty in achieving academically. I was around girls who excelled academically, and then I was around girls who excelled on the sports field. So my best was obviously to model that behavior. I mean, to, where I fell short, I would try and learn from those who were doing really, really well. So I never thought that a woman was less capable in achieving absolutely anything. I mean, if it was sports field, I would see tough girls, and sometimes I would be the tough girl as well. And no, when I got to the military, I didn't come with a mindset of women being more inferior. I came with the mindset that we're capable of being equal, and sometimes we're capable of being better in different fields, depending, definitely on the talents and gifts of the individual. So when it came to the military practice, I try to apply myself as best way as I can. And I would try and aim and push myself to be able to meet the grade that my peers were making, without obviously